Brian Gregory, make an opening statement, and then take your questions.
Played a very, very talented, physical, well-coached team today. I thought we played with the intensity level and the energy level and the toughness level that you need to do to compete in this league. But give them credit. They made timely baskets, and we weren't able to match those in the last 10 minutes of the game. I thought our guys, in a one-day preparation, did a tremendous job in their defensive coverages and understanding what we wanted to get done. We made an adjustment or two at halftime, and the guys came out and played obviously very, very well to start the second half. But just not enough, we just not able to make enough baskets during some crucial times. And they were. Davenport hit a big one kind of on a loose ball, scramble. The ball gets knocked out to him, and he buries the three. Madsen, only shot he made was the three during that run as well. So some guys made some big shots for them. And during that time, when we get fouled and get to the free throw line, we got to make our free throws to kind of stop the bleeding a little bit. But I thought, overall, we had some guys play very well. In particular, I thought Sam Hines played really well for us today. Really been working on his game, and you're seeing it. Was great in the mid-range, great at attacking the basket, and really good at the free throw line. I thought Jameer played well for us. Just his energy, again, was tremendous with the 4 offensive rebounds. And we just, in a game like that, you just got to figure out on a couple, 3-4 possessions, a way to get the ball in the basket. I liked the way we attacked the basket in the second half. We had plenty of shots at the rim. We just didn't finish the ones that we needed to.
Coach, there was, I think, a 5-minute stretch where your team had 6 turnovers. What was going on in that situation that you were seeing?
We were a little sloppy with the ball. They were pressuring us to kind of denying. A couple offensive foul calls and a couple, it was a physical game. And there was a couple possessions where we weren't as strong with the ball as we needed to be. And you're gonna have to withstand the heat that they're putting on it and be strong, be able to catch the ball and rip the ball through, set up your cuts. Ball's being passed to you, go meet it with 2 hands and 2 feet and go get it. Can't wait for it to come to you. That was primarily during that stretch right there, and they got a couple breakouts on the other end on a couple of those.
You talked about how it was a physical game. It almost seemed like it was a physical altercation almost every possession. As you look at the stat sheet, are you surprised that Adu only had 2 fouls in the whole game, as aggressive as he was going after the ball?
Well, you got to remember, he's one of the best defensive centers in the country. He started for 4 years at Mississippi State. You know what I mean? The thing I marvel about him, he took 1 shot the whole game. He got 3 offensive rebounds, 8 total rebounds, drew 6 fouls. Only had 2 blocks, but had 3 blocks, but altered multiple other ones. And he don't care. You know what I mean? He do whatever needs to be done to help the team win. And he only played 22 minutes. You know what I mean? As a 5th-year guy. There's not a coach in the country that wouldn't take him. Because that unselfishness is unique in this day and age. It's unique. And he obviously has made a big impact on that team because they're one of the best defensive teams in the league right now. And he allows those 3 guards to pressure and deny Allows Davenport to make some gambles defensively and play for stuff, which he's really good at, because they know he's behind them. You know what I mean? And that's why they're so good defensively. That's why they're so good defensively. And it's because they're a really unselfish guy in the back row.
Coach, could you tell us about how you managed Caleb Murphy's foul trouble in the second half and the minutes that Trey Moss had to play? He played 15 tonight, played 3 the other night. Obviously, he's been a bench player for the majority of the season, but tonight he played almost double the amount of minutes he averages.
I think he's averaging about 9 minutes a game, isn't he? Somewhere around there. I mean, Murph got the third foul. Fourth one, it's an offensive foul and a handoff where there's a collision, with a guy trying to take away the handoff. You know what I mean? But more to Trey Moss, I thought he played well tonight against the pressure that he faced. No turnovers. Got us into our stuff, but, you look at Cincinnati, and maybe I'm wrong, they don't have any true freshmen playing. This game is a hard game for a true freshman to play with the physicality and the intensity that it's played at. But I thought Trey handled himself really well. I thought he played well. He's just playing behind a really good player in Caleb Murphy, but he's working on his game. He's getting better. I'm pleased with his progress. And when the one thing, if he's called into more duty, I know he's going to compete and he's going to play hard and he's going to do everything that we ask him to do. So, I was disappointed that Murphy had to be on the bench, during that stretch. But at the same time, I thought Trey handled himself extremely well.
Coach, I imagine you were pleased with how the team handled the quick turnaround against two very physical teams, Temple and UC, and the early second half, you climb out of a 9-point hole, you look up, you have a 2-point lead.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're very pleased
Yeah.
with how they handled it.
Yeah, I think they did a great job in that. Again, the glaring thing that I would look at that I would not be happy with is the rebounding total again. Okay, but again, and so I'm trying to figure out how we just forced that team who's got veteran players all up and down into 19 turnovers. You know what I mean? And we don't pressure. We don't pressure. We play solid man-to-man defense. But what it shows is the activity level of our defense. And so to bounce back 48 hours later in a physical game like that and still have that defensive intensity, to your point, is impressive by our guys. You know what I mean? We just got to make, when you're playing a team as good as that, and it gets to the last 10 minutes, you got to make a couple plays. You got to be able to make a couple plays, and we just weren't able to do that tonight. And they were. Give them credit, because they were. Davenport hits the big three. Madsen, who hadn't made a shot, makes a three. Adu makes 2 free throws in the first half, makes one in the second half. He's shooting 20% from the free throw line. He shot 50%. You know what I mean? So those are things that, and again, you go through it. I thought, there was a couple times on some special situations where Russell got caught on David DeJulius and did a great, our team defense, but his defense on that was outstanding. So there's a lot of positives and a lot of individual things that we did well. But when you get outscored by 27 at the 3-point line, man, it's going to be tough to win, man. It's going to be tough to win.
Julius had a hot first half, but in the second half, he didn't score quite as much. Could you explain the adjustments you guys made on him at halftime and Javon's contribution on him?
Yeah, I just thought he was a little too comfortable on offensively in the first half. So we just talked to Javon about putting a little more ball pressure on him, not letting him kind of go where he wants, and I thought he did a very good job of that in the second half. Much better job. He scored 8 points in the second half, 2 of them were on free throws when we fouled him. So he only made 6 points in the second half. So that was, they give, Javon takes great pride in his defense. Obviously, he's had some tremendous defensive games for us. So that's something that we count on, and he knows that. So I thought he responded really well after the first half.
Coach, you go up 24-22. You get 2 live ball turnovers, you get 2 great looks at threes.
Yeah.
You can go up 8. How frustrating is that? You just can't get that shot to really put the pressure on somebody that way.
Yeah, what I've been through it enough. You feel bad for the guys because the effort that they're given and they get those looks and they've put in the time, you just want them to make it. No one's trying to miss the shot, as you know. You know what I mean? So I always tell the guys, you're disappointed. You're never discouraged. You know what I mean? You're disappointed because you just want, to have a breakout game where you make a couple of those, and now it's a whole different deal. But what you got to do is you just got to keep going to work. You got to, as I tell the guys, keep planting the right seeds, and the right stuff's going to grow. So it's disappointing, and I feel for the guys because, they can feel it too. They can feel how important those. You get 2 great defensive possessions. You get 2 really, wide open looks at the 3, right? And you don't make either one.
What about Sam Hines, the energy level that he brought tonight?
Was tremendous.
Because I seen that he was driving hard to the paint.
Yep.
And whenever he did, he was successful. So is that what you would like to see that on those 3-point shots?
Well, Sam knows that right now in his career as a young player, it's mid-range to the basket, and he keeps working on his 3-point shooting. Down the road he'll be able to make them. But his pull-up jump shot is really looking good. And he spent a lot of time. He spent a lot of time at the free throw line because he is a guy that's going to get fouled because he's got great quickness to the rim. He's a tough matchup because if they put a bigger guy on him, he can go by him. They put a smaller guy on him, he can kind of bulldoze his way to the basket. You know what I mean? He's that hybrid wing now that everybody is playing. I think obviously the way he played tonight is we're going to need more of that. We're going to need more of that.
Coach, last 3 minutes of the first half, 3 missed shots, 2 turnovers, and you give up an offensive rebound on a free throw. It just looks like you run out of gas that last 3 or 4 minutes. Is that the case?
Yeah, with the foul trouble, we had some guys having to play some extended minutes. You know what I mean? And our lineup was kind of discombobulated because of it a little bit. We can't give up the free throw line cutout stuff is just it's like a pet peeve of mine, and it goes back to, how I was raised in this profession. In shoot around, we do free throw line cutouts, free throw line rebounding, because I hate it when a guy misses a free throw and you give it up, and we didn't do a good job of that. But we had some different guys out and different things like that. So, yeah, that was and we had a couple good looks. Even the last shot that Sorrell took was open. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it would have been better. We would have been in a better spot if that's a 4 or 5 point game at halftime instead of 9.
Do you get a mental picture of Coach Izzo when that happens?
Oh yeah, that's where we get it from. It's just there are certain things I can live with. That's one of them that really, really, really bothers me. And if you watch enough basketball, you see how many times a missed free throw and the team gets offensive rebound, how many games that costs teams during the season. I guarantee there'll be 3 in the NCAA tournament this year where a team, all they have to do is get the rebound on a missed free throw and they win. I guarantee it's going to happen. Always happens. You can tell the guys all you want. You know what I mean? They still don't look at it as important as it needs to be. All right, guys, thank you.